General, we'll begin with you, but questions for both. A lot of these cards and questions we've gotten this week have a kind of a common theme, and it talks about the gridlock in Congress and what you can do to break it. I'd like you both to talk a little bit about how you might reach across the aisle to try to get some things done in Congress. Asking you specifically, General, where you may part company with your own party on an issue, and the same for you, Congressman, where you might get away from the party line to try to reach across the aisle and work with the other party to get some things done.
Well, if it's my turn to go first, there are a whole bunch of ways that I'd probably break lock with my party, but I will tell you that I've worked on both sides of the aisle. I spent 5 years in the Reagan White House. When I got to be Assistant Secretary of the Navy, the program they said that I didn't have anything to do with, bringing the Virginia-class submarine program to Virginia. Let me tell you, folks, I had to fight like hell at the Pentagon to get that competition started. Then I had to go to senators and congressmen on both sides of the aisle here in Virginia to explain it to them and get them to buy into it. And then we had to get it through the Armed Services Committee, and we had to get it through a vote of the full House and the Senate. And we did all those things, and we brought thousands of good paying jobs to Virginia. It's not easy to do that. It takes leadership. And if you want to know some areas where I'd probably differ from my party, if it was up to me, I'd bring our troops home right now. Right now. I don't think the Karzai regime is worth fighting for anymore. Those guys are turning on our own soldiers over there. It's not easy to come out of a situation like that, so you can't walk out one day, but I'd bring them home sooner. I'd be a fierce advocate for campaign finance reform. I don't know that everybody in my party would agree with that. I would also be a fierce advocate for changing our national security strategy and stop these overseas wars like Iraq and Afghanistan, and spend a lot more time defending our borders and our ports and our shorelines. I could go into that in a lot more detail, but those are some of the areas where I know there's substantial support on the other side of the aisle that would make America and Virginia, the 5th District, stronger and better.
I would agree that Washington suffers from a fair amount of having people that are not serious about solving our problems and frankly put their own personal interests and their own party interests ahead of what's right for the American people. I can tell you that as one of the new freshmen that was elected, I can tell you that I'm there for one reason, that is to get this country full employment, to see a balanced budget in this country. And those are the things that I am guided by because I want that for my children and my grandchildren. That's what I want for everyone in this room, is that we have that opportunity, which seems to grow dimmer and dimmer, that we have fiscal sanity and that we hand off to our children a place that's better. I don't represent a party. You can say it, it doesn't matter how many times you say it, it's just not true. I don't represent the Republican Party. I represent the people of Virginia's 5th District. You will go back in my time in Virginia, the General Assembly, I've always stood up for the people that I represent and put their interests ahead of any other concern. And that is the way I've operated. I had worked across party lines when I was in the General Assembly, and I work across party lines now. Most of the bills that I have actually introduced in this Congress are bills that have bipartisan support and have bipartisan co-patrons, and I work with them. You don't read about those things very much because that's not what sells newspapers or sells television ads, but that is the truth. Now, I'm not saying that it's not a problem, but I am saying that I am capable of doing that. I have done it. I have a record of doing it, and we'll continue to look for ways. But I will tell you this: at the end of the day, I think that we are going to need a Senate that will act. You know, we have done so much work on the House side. We send our bills down to the Senate, and we get no action. And that's, you know, we can't. I tell my constituents, I can't make the senators do their jobs. We've sent down, you know, dozens and dozens of jobs bills, energy bills, budget bills, and the Senate hasn't adopted a budget in about 3 years.
Thank you, Congressman Hurd.